Ja, liebe Kolleginnen, liebe Kollegen, ich darf euch sehr herzlich begrüßen um 19 Uhr und 14 Minuten, Spieltagspressekonferenz, 47. Spieltag in der deutschen Eishockeyliga. Das war der erste gegen den dritten heute, die gespielt haben. München gegen Köln. Der Gast aus Köln gewinnt die Partie vor 10.796 Zuschauern im ausverkauften SAP-Garten mit 1:0. Es war der 24. KEC-Sieg im 69. Aufeinandertreffen der beiden Teams. Beide Trainer darf ich natürlich sehr herzlich begrüßen. Das ist Kari Jalonen von den Kölner Haien. Herzlich willkommen. Und natürlich Oliver David, EHC Red Bull München. Wie immer darf ich mit dem Gästetrainer beginnen. Jari, congrats on your first win against Munich this season. What made the difference today?
My feeling is that after the long break, 4 weeks break for everybody, and then you start to playing 3 games in a week, that's really tough for the players. Not even mentally, but physically for sure. You know, the teams who has been traveling a little bit more than us. So that maybe there was a little bit influence for today's game. This game was the 1-0 game. I think there was a lot of both of team have a lot of good scoring chances. I think we played really smart in the second period, like when we can change, when we have shorter bench to close to the ozone cycling, and we change in the right time, you know, and then we get the fresh guys in, and we get that one goal in that. And but penalties, that's true. It's way too much penalties to my team. Usually you are not win this kind of game if you take in so many penalties, but we get sometimes you need the luck, you know, like the pounce out, you know, the post out, and you know those things. And today we had it that luck too, but we are happy about the result, of course, and thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Jari. Oliver, again, an extremely tight and closely game. Yeah, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think congratulations to Köln. That was, in the moment Kari's talking about in the second period, we had a very difficult time getting out of our zone. We had to defend, I think, 3 or 4 icings, and they just kept coming back and putting it in. So 4 or 5 face-offs, I think, after a shot, also a face-off, and we couldn't solve it. I think it was a short period of time, but it was quite a few sequences there, maybe only 3 or 4 minutes in the second. And the tip was excellent. It was a shot going wide, I think, and he redirected it, kind of pulled it back in through Matthias. Matthias was outstanding tonight. I should say that before I forget it. Niederberger really gave us a chance to stay in the game and win in the end. Like Kari's talking about, they could have scored and they didn't, except for the one time. Of course, in the third period, the game changes a little bit. We were able to find more offensive zone time. I thought their defensemen, not to mention their goalie obviously, but the defensemen and their team in defensive zone coverage was very good, very patient. When the puck was on the wall, they won those battles more than we did. They were able to kind of shoot it out or make a breakout pass to get it out of the zone. That's one area that we could have been better at, but in the third we were better at those kind of individual game moments. There wasn't so much tactics in terms of all areas of the game. We were able to be down there. We got our own time around somewhere around after 10 minutes we had our own 3 or 4 minutes of offensive zone time in the third. Then we got a power play. We're not able to do anything with it. Then continued back in the offensive zone, and we know how it ended with us 6 versus 3. That's the second game in a row. I don't think it's ever happened in my career that it ends 6-on-3. We were the 3 last game in Augsburg. We killed the penalty, or the 2 penalties, when they pulled the goalie. And tonight we were the 6, and we couldn't generate anything. So that, just an interesting thing that happened in the last 48 hours. But they did a really good job, and it's not easy to win 1-0 when a team is trying to kill you. We weren't able to do it, so it's a good moment for them, and we need to move forward. I also would say I agree. Is this our 3rd game this week? Yeah, I can't even remember because I don't know what day it is. It's very difficult, and we haven't had training. Next week we have 1 training planned, 1 practice, and 3 games again. Yeah, we do things in between the games, but they're not practices. You just kind of recovery, 20 minutes of recovery. So think of a guy like Albert Smits, who's joining us. He's sick tonight. He has not practiced with us. He's already played a game. He would have played his 2nd game tonight with no practice. Tomorrow we are off. We have a practice on Tuesday, and then we fly to Düsseldorf and drive to Iserlohn. He would have 1 practice next week and have 5 games. He would have 2 now if he wasn't sick, and 3 next week with 1 practice. So that is an interesting point. I'm not saying somebody can change it, but it's definitely a factor. And we had the Olympics, which was awesome, of course, but it's a factor. It's absolutely a factor. So, thank you.
Thanks, Oliver. By the way, today is Sunday.
Thank
Ja.
you. Yeah.
Dann darf ich jetzt die Kolleginnen und Kollegen bitten, falls es Fragen gibt, sich zu melden. Ein Kollege von Sharkbite nehme ich an. So, your question.
Kari, 4th game, first win against Munich this season. How important was that win, considering a possible rematch in the playoffs?
We haven't talked about it like those further games, like it's kind of like we knew it that the result is negative for us, but like the first game, like that was at the beginning of the game, beginning of the season. Then we lost 2-0 at home. Then we played tight 1-1 here, and Munich won that overtime, and now it's a 1-0. So it's pretty much kind of both teams, the winning formula for both teams is pretty much same. Both teams play really good in defensively, and like offensively, we know that Munich is one of the best team in the ozone cycling and the turnovers. So, and we are really good in the rush and the ozone cycling. So, and the power play and PK, both teams is playing good. So it's kind of like when the 2 good teams playing like this, they have the same kind of structure. So games are like this. So then it's those critical moments like today. We like hardly never seen that it's a 6 against 3. Hardly never seen that. But like we get a little bit lucky in there, and they couldn't score a couple of those chances. But I like it the game anyway. And I think it was a good hockey game for the boys. Like 3 games in this week, I said it's really, really tough right now to get the playoff rhythm right away after the 4 weeks break.
Gibt es weitere Fragen, Günther, oder noch eine Nachfrage?
You also clinched the first place in the regular season today. What does it mean to you and the team?
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much. I haven't time to think about it, but like if you win the regular season, it's a marathon, and you have to really play good in not going down many times. Like we have been playing really steady all the time. So of course the self-confidence for the team, it's gave it to us to self-confidence to continue to the playoffs.
Jetzt eine Frage Günther Klein mit Herrn Merkur.
Oliver, I'm sure you're acquainted with the German verb Luxusproblem, referring to the goalie situation, luxury problem. How will you handle it, having 2 strong goalies who want to be a number 1 goalie in the playoffs?
Yeah, game by game. I think I talked to Matthias, for example, already after this game, just quickly before coming to the press conference, that there's the idea of keeping him going. He did everything. He has to get in a rhythm. He hasn't played in 6 weeks. Today was the first game. The last one was Schwinnigan. I think that's 6 weeks ago, about 5 or 6 weeks ago. He didn't play in the Olympics, so there's an idea that this kind of performance, he can go again right away. But we have Bibo, obviously, who also deserves to play to that point. And we don't want either of them to lose a rhythm. But when they do find a rhythm, I think it's pretty logical you ride the wave with the guy that gets on that wave. So we'll go game by game, situation by situation. Some of it also for us is out of their control in terms of performance, because Bibo is an import and we have 11 licenses. So it's pretty easy math. When Bibo is in the net, two guys have to sit out of the other 10. When Niederberger's in the net, one guy has to sit out of the imports. So, day by day, and sickness and health and the best lineup we can have for that moment, that also comes into play.
Weitere Fragen? Keine weiteren Fragen. Köln am Mittwoch, apropos Reisen, die reisen zurück nach Köln in die Heimat, da geht es gegen Augsburg. Und München reist nach Düsseldorf und von Düsseldorf nach Iserlohn, weil am Mittwochabend spielt Red Bull München gegen Iserlohn. Ich bedanke mich für die Aufmerksamkeit und sage Servus und Ciao.
Schönen Sonntag.